It was supposed to be just another flight transit for Prema Wangjum Thongdok, an Indian woman based in the United Kingdom. She was heading to Japan via China. As she was getting ready for her connecting flight, she was stopped by Chinese authorities at the Shanghai airport, allegedly harassed and detained for the next 17 hours. Apparently, the Chinese authorities had a problem with her passport, particularly because of where she was born. She was born in Arunachal Pradesh. The Chinese allegedly told her that her Indian passport, was invalid because Arunachal Pradesh is part of China. Eventually, she wasn't allowed to go to Japan and had to return back. Her ordeal has gone viral on social media, even as the Chinese continue to defend their actions. India, meanwhile, has reacted sharply to what officials call Beijing's ludicrous actions. Hello and welcome, I'm Shubham Chauhan. Let's get started. So on 21st November 2025, Prema Wangjum Thongdok was traveling to Japan. She's a financial advisor in her 30s and based out of the United Kingdom for the last 14 years. She's an Indian national who's based in the UK. So she boarded her flight from London for Japan and landed at the Shanghai Pudong airport in China for a 3-hour layover. She says that while she was standing at the security gate at Shanghai airport, Chinese authorities singled her out and asked her to step aside. When she inquired what was the issue, the Chinese allegedly pointed to her passport. They claimed her passport was invalid because of where she was born, that is the Indian state of Arunachal Pradesh. Thongdok originally hails from Rupa in Arunachal Pradesh's West Kamaying district. Her family still lives there. The Chinese refused to listen to her and said that Arunachal Pradesh was Chinese territory. Consequently, they told her that her Indian passport was invalid and that she cannot proceed with her trip to Japan. Not just that, Thongdok said that the Chinese authorities mocked and harassed her, alleging that they told her to even apply for a Chinese passport. She told the Indian Express, they, as in officials at the Shanghai airport, were insisting that Arunachal Pradesh is a part of China and that therefore my passport is not valid. I asked them what laws state this or what written document specifies that such a passport is invalid. One of them even said that I should get a Chinese passport because I am Chinese. They were mocking me. I was held at the airport for 18 hours after I had already travelled 12 hours from London. They kept my passport and didn't let me leave. I didn't have access to food. She added that she had previously passed through the same airport a few days back, but at that time she did not face any issues. As Thongdok's detention continued, she said that the airport authorities gave her two options: go back to the UK or go to India. What made matters worse was that Thongdok had limited access to the internet, thanks to China's restrictive social media policies. She couldn't reach out to the Indian embassy in China. Nothing, including Google, works in China. That is because they've banned all foreign social media platforms like Meta, Instagram, X, and YouTube. The ban has effectively cut off China from the digital world globally as it pushes its own domestic platforms like WeChat and Weibo, all of them which are tightly surveilled and controlled by the Chinese state. And WeChat and Weibo are like the Chinese version of WhatsApp. Now the Arunachal-Born woman then demanded the authorities to allow her to seek a lawyer. After much back and forth, the authorities gave her a landline phone through which she could connect with her friends in the UK, who then helped her out with the contact of the Indian embassy in Beijing. Reportedly, Indian officials reached the Shanghai airport promptly and tried to reason out with their Chinese counterpart. But the latter did not listen to even embassy officials. They were adamant, that is, the Chinese were adamant, that the Arunachal-Born woman cannot proceed to Japan and that she must go back. Thongdok said she was so exhausted because of whatever was happening all these hours that she just wanted to take whatever flight was available and just leave China. But reportedly, the Chinese immigration officials had a condition there as well. They insisted that she books her next flight from China Eastern Airline, the same airline that let her board the flight from London. Until the time she was confined to the transit area by Chinese officials, the woman was allegedly denied food or she was not even allowed to move between terminals. Eventually, she managed to take a flight to India via Thailand. And as we speak, she is in Bangkok where she is working remotely. Prema Thongdok has written to the Indian government detailing her ordeal. She said this was a direct insult to India's sovereignty and to the citizens of Arunachal Pradesh. She requested the Indian government to take this up strongly with the Chinese and assure that such a thing would never happen again. As Thongdok's story went viral, reactions began coming in. Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister Pema Khandu said he was deeply shocked with what happened with Thongdok. He said that the humiliation and racial mockery she was put through was appalling. The Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh reiterated that the state is and will always be an integral part of India, and any insinuation otherwise is baseless and offensive. India's Ministry of External Affairs has not commented on this matter officially at the moment, but reports say New Delhi has expressed a strong displeasure. Vijayata Singh of The Hindu reported that India has issued a strong démarche to China following this incident. MEA officials said that detaining a traveller on such grounds was ludicrous. New Delhi reiterated that Arunachal is indisputably Indian territory, and China's refusal to acknowledge that was both baseless and provocative. MEA officials also said that this comes at a time when both sides are working to improve relations, that is, India and China are working to improve their relations, and such actions by Beijing are just adding unnecessary obstructions in this process. China, on the other hand, continued with its predictable script. Beijing said that it acted as per laws, and the woman, the Arunachal-Born woman, was neither detained or harassed. It added that China has never recognized Arunachal as part of India. Listen in to what their foreign ministry spokesperson had to say.
中方对九合评论
First of all, Zhangnan is China's territory. China never acknowledges the so-called Arunachal Pradesh illegally set up by India. As for the individual case you mentioned, we've learned that during the whole process, China's border inspection authorities have gone through the whole process in accordance with laws and regulations and had just enforcement and fully protected the lawful rights.
Now, from time to time, China claims 90,000 square kilometers of Arunachal Pradesh as its own. They've been doing it for decades. They give it Chinese names and even show it on their official map. They claim that it is part of South Tibet, and as an extension, it is part of China. Beijing has even used it as part of some leverage tactic, meaning they have regularly floated a proposal for India. As per this, New Delhi rejects its claim to Aksai Chin in the north sector, which it lost to China after the 1962 war, and in exchange, China would drop its claim to Arunachal Pradesh. India, of course, has rejected all such proposals, saying it cannot trade sovereign Indian land. Another tactic that the Chinese have been using for the last 2 decades is that of stapled visas. Usually, visas are affixed and stamped on your passport, but the stapled ones are different. Stapled visa is like a loose, unstamped piece of paper attached to a passport with staples or a pin. China issues stapled visa to Indian nationals, especially from Arunachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir, to question their Indian citizenship and reiterate its claims over these regions. Now, India, on its part, doesn't recognize stapled visa and has criticized China for its approach. In 2024, for instance, India withdrew its 8-athlete Wushu martial arts contingent from the Summer World University Games in Chengdu. This came after Beijing issued stapled visas to 3 Indians in that team who were from the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Now, following the recent incident involving the Arunachal-Born woman, Indian officials say China's actions are creating hurdles at a time when both New Delhi and Beijing are trying to move on after what happened in Galwan at the border clashes in the year 2020. That's all we have for this report. Thanks for watching.